Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Corona. Although, as you'll know, if you've been watching up to this point, we're not actually cooking with Corona, we are in fact cooking whilst we're in Tier 4. That, of course, isn't Tier 4 by the time you're watching this, and of course, unless you're suffering from COVID-19, in which case I suppose you're cooking with Corona, better sets of connotations that appear within that sentence. Now, another oxtail dish today. Lovely and exotic this, based on a West Indian recipe. I remember when I'd graduated as a student and I was working at a school in Luton for about a year. Had to catch a bus in order to get back home. And it was a 40-minute wait if you didn't catch it in time. And it could be very cold waiting there. So what I used to do while I was waiting on those occasions where I missed it was go into a little cafeteria, which was in fact West Indian in its style. One of the dishes I made was goat curry mutton they called it, and the other one was oxtail stew with rice and peas. Peas to them were what we would call kidney beans. And here you can see the oxtail, there you can see the rice. Probably not comparable to the sort of thing you'd have were you in Jamaica, where you probably would get all the fruits and coconut milk that goes with it fresh, but here we are. That cafeteria didn't either. Take off a little fat from the oxtail, bung it in a bowl, cover them over with a bit of water, slice a lemon or two. I'm going to put in some lime as well, just for fun, even though no recipe I'm following actually says that. Squeeze. Here's another way of doing it, of course. Lime. By the way, I ought to mention that this recipe is a mixture of the website's all recipes with my Jamaican recipes with health. It's a hybridised combination of those three. I shall have links, as ever, below. Now, these wonderful oxtails have been soaked in here for about an hour, maybe more in fact. In fact, it is more. And I am going to cut 2 cloves of garlic. Actually, this is 3 cloves, but who's counting? And I've chopped up this red and white onion in a rather dreadful way. Tip the onions and garlic in amongst the oxtails. Teaspoon of paprika. A rather bent spoon, but still a teaspoon. Put some oregano in just for fun. It's not a usual addition, but I'm going to add it. Take a wooden spoon and stir them first of all. Get my trusty pepper gadget, which just happens to have turmeric in it. 1 teaspoon's worth of that. Allspice tends to be something people add. I keep forgetting to buy it, so I'll put in some mixed spice instead. Teaspoonsful, like so. Chop up some celery, put that in for fun. Normally would if it were a British dish, which I suppose it is anyway by virtue of it being in Britain. Now I've just chopped some of these tomatoes, which I'm also going to put in. The chilli suggested is Scotch bonnet. I'm not doing anything quite so tough, but I shall be using these 3 chilies because, well, they're a bit shriveled up, aren't they? Remove or leave the seeds, depending on how hot you want it. There we are. Couldn't find butter beans anywhere, so here are these cannellinis. Hope that's how you pronounce it. Hope I like them, come to that. I'll cope. Now some of the recipes I'm following call for tomato paste. I have got tomato paste, but I've also got this, it's tomato and chilli paste, this, which I'm adding purely because I think the ones I added were fairly mild. I don't know how strong these ones are, but just to give it a diverse bunch of flavours, 3 tablespoons full. Nice tablespoonful of molasses sugar, sprinkled all over. Might add another tablespoonful of Worcestershire sauce, 3 sprigs of thyme, that's probably more like 5, but never mind. Show you this, but I put a little squirt of tomato puree in there to thicken it a little. I don't have any tomato ketchup, as has been offered in several versions of it, but I do have some mushroom ketchup. I'm going to put a slurp of that in there. Recipes call for curry powder, maybe a pinch. I'm going to cover this, and then I'm going to come back to it in the morning. It's the morning. Now, I'm going to put a little oil into this pan. I'm going to take the larger pieces of oxtail and just brown them a little on both sides. What I'm also, which I should have done before, while that's going on, you can see that the juices are still here. I'm going to grate a little ginger into them. Here we are then. Now it looks as though I'm grating it into the floor. I promise you I'm not. It is going in the bowl. Now transfer. Now, were I doing this in a casserole dish or a saucepan, it would cook on low heat for about an hour or 2. This is in a slow cooker, therefore it will cook on low heat for about 7 hours. Right, now it's been on for more than 7 hours at this point. Good job it's on low heat, isn't it? I'm just going to make some rice now, the rice and peas, which, as I think explained, is not literally what we would call rice and peas. It is rice and what we would call kidney beans. So, here's some rice, nice cupful. I'm going to give it a good wash first. Now we've set that aside. I've got a little too much coconut milk here, about 300 milligrams. Never mind, we'll put that in. May look as I put that on the floor as well, but I put it in a saucepan. Put it on the hob. I've got half a teaspoon of salt here. That may sound disgusting to put in coconut water, and it would be by itself, but still, in that goes. I'm supposed to have allspice, but I'll put some mixed spice in just for fun. Not too much, just a sprinkle. Excellent. And I've got 2 sprigs of thyme here. Yeah, the recipe calls for more, but I put about 5 into the stew, so who cares? Break them, put that in. A lot of recipes call for putting chilli into the rice and peas. I shan't, simply because I've got chilies in the main stew. Now I'll get my infamous pepper turmeric gadget here. Put some of that in. 1 clove of garlic, which I'm also going to shred in there. See how it's boiling away there? Now, turn that down. Now that we've turned down the heat, I'm going to cover it over and leave it for about 20 minutes. Almost all of the coconut milk has gone into it by now. Let's give it a taste, actually. That's nice. Recipe I'm following, which I will link below, says try to remove the garlic and the thyme, but I don't think I need to, because it works. Alright, kidney beans in. There we are. Stir that in then, and I'll leave it to stand for a bit, maybe 5 minutes. Well, I've left this to stand here, and now let's have our lovely oxtail stew with the rice and peas. Lovely. All right then. Rice and peas first then. Oh. Taste that garlic. Taste that garlic. And the coconut. I should have taken the garlic out, but... Oh, that one's better. More coconut in that one. Now, here are the not butter beans. Yeah. Not too hot. Let's try some of this lovely oxtail. Lovely. Maybe I'll put some flour, maybe even coconut flour, into the sauce to thicken it a little bit. Very nice. Well, try it yourself if you like. And if you don't like, then don't. Thanks very much. Bye. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Corona in Tier 4. Although, as you'll know, hello, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Corona. Take off a little fat from the oxtail, bung it in a bowl, at this point I'm going to, by the way, I ought to mention that this recipe is a mixture of my health, get my trusty pepper gadget, which just happens to have turmeric in it, one teaspoon, get a great little ginger into them. If I can find the grater. Which I can't. Yes, I've made a bit of a mistake so far. I think I was supposed to put a whole garlic clove in there rather than scrape it, and I was supposed not to supposed to put a whole sprig in rather than break it apart as I did, but still we'll put in the rice now.